I have to take one example of my teacher Francis, which was, I think, so essential. So essentially the path is, we first recognize I am awareness. And this is something everybody can experientially confirm. This is not something you have to believe, but if you contemplate your experience, if you meditate, if you are really interested in who you are, you may not use the word awareness, it may be being or globality or universality or infinity or whatever. But you will come to the point where you will say, I am awareness, this is what I know, and there is someone that knows my experience, I call that awareness, whatever. So this is absolutely verifiable by everyone. And then this already sort of releases some of the suffering we experience, because now all the emotions and thoughts don't seem to be that big a deal, because there's this awareness.
Yeah, you build a small bridge into this inner peace.
Yeah. But so now here comes the juice. I too thought that I explored the nature of this awareness, and I felt it's rather likely that it's infinite rather than finite. But I can't say I on the level of mind know it for sure. And I felt something was missing. But then when I met Francis, he said, no. The second step is I don't know what I am. And this is a very radical teaching, because now usually everybody goes to you are the universal being, sort of, and it's something, it's kind of a leap from I am awareness to I am the only awareness there is in the universe, and everything is made of me. So it's a pretty big step. So when I met Francis, he was like, well, that's not. The mind can come to I don't know what. It can come to I am awareness, and then it can come to I don't know what I am. Mm-hmm. And this openness, this I don't know what I am, this honesty, this openness, that's the only step you need to take from I am awareness. You don't have to go to I am this divine being. You may express it if you like really feel it, of course, but it's so simple. The mind cannot really know. So it can have all these questions, and it's absolutely vital to ask these questions. So the mind doesn't have to be put down, or the thoughts don't have to be silenced. The mind can have its questions. It can have qualified answers, and once it understands that, it can leave itself in the I don't know position, because that's where the real choice of the non-dual understanding is. I think this opens the way for people that don't even, feel like they're spiritual, because these two steps, there's nothing really spiritual about them. They are more verifiable than the existence of matter outside consciousness. That's an unverifiable theory, because no one can ever say that there is something outside consciousness, because we cannot have an experience, outside consciousness. So these two steps are open for anyone who wants to sort of try it out. And this was a revelation to me as well when I listened to Francis, that the second step is actually to I don't know what I am. So how, if the mind cannot come from the I don't know what I am to the sort of sense of unity and globality, and what happens there? The third step also is something that is quite logical, because if what we are saying is true, if you are the universal being, and after the second step, because you've investigated that you find no limits to awareness, you say, well, okay, it's reasonable to open the mind to the I don't know position because it's possible that I am unlimited. So how can it be proven that the mind is unlimited? So usually it is said something like, you feel it or it cannot be proven. But the really scientific way to think about it is, if it is true that you are the universal awareness, then acting as if you are universal awareness, putting what you have understood to sort of action in your life, it should yield verifiable results, which manifest in different ways. Because if it's true that the universal awareness has forgotten its universal awareness, and it, plays a game of this Maya, then starting to, well, maybe I'm universal awareness, and maybe, instead of retaliating, I should send this, person a letter where I say how much I respect him, and, find out, whatever, it is what love does. You should be getting a response from the universe. And when you get a response from the universe, you don't really need to rely on what anyone else says. Because maybe it cannot be, expressed as a mathematical formula. But if your world starts changing, and if your experiences start shifting, and you feel this melody of joy, I mean, sure, it doesn't prove it to a skeptic, of course, but it doesn't really matter. It proves it to you. Your life, has transformed. So, yeah, so this is a long explanation, but this is a really radical journey, and it's really radically simple, and it's open to anyone who has an open mind and can, form basic logical assumptions. It may not be the kind of reasoning that you are used to, but it is reasoning. I think it was Krishna Menon Atmananda who coined the term higher reasoning. So this is very important to understand, because actually at least these two first steps, they require less belief than almost all scientific endeavors, because, for example, almost all scientific endeavors say, let's assume space-time is real, and then I will give you the answers to these other questions. That may not be true, That's actually, of course, many of us feel here that it's not true, but this is actually a lot more direct, a lot more experienceable truth than almost all the science. Because you just can't refute these two steps. And then what happens between step 2 and 3, I leave that to you. If your life changes for the better, I leave it to you to make the kind of conclusions you want to make of that. But no, it certainly works for me.
Yeah.